Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the High Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. And as always, your host, the other High Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about is current Winter Storm Fern actually the beginning of the day after tomorrow? It's probably not, honestly, but it's funny to talk about stuff like that, is what it is. So I got my 100% cotton cap on right now, which if it gets any colder, which I know it's supposed to, I might just have this cap on and then just do like one of these kind of deals. Actually, I do have I think it's a thermal hat sitting over in the by the door there on top of one of my totes that my cousin was able to find the other day when we were going through stuff. So I'll probably put that one on because that one's much warmer and it goes around my ears and stuff too if it does get as cold as it's supposed to get cold now. So, but yeah, basically, my apologies for not doing a Slicey Boy Saturday episode yesterday or one here down Sunday. But unfortunately, the blades that I got that I was going to do the episode on, the mailman delivered them to my mailbox supposedly, and I have yet to actually go out there and get them because when they were delivered, it was a little bit too cold and like still like the snow didn't really hit at that point. But I was like, I'm not going to go out and get it then. But so basically, my neighbor guy who I talked to a few months ago, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll come and shovel you out if you need me to shovel you out or whatever." And we just never talked after that for me to get a phone number from him or whatever. But he apparently this morning decided to do that though for some reason. And it was kind of silly when he did though because he ended up coming. I was like half awake, half asleep when I heard like scraping outside, which I assumed was him shoveling the sidewalk as it was then. And that was around 11:15 or so this morning. And then it was a couple minutes after that I took a photo of like the clean sidewalk. And that was at 11:19. And then by 11:46, when I checked it again after talking to my sister, in that 27-minute time span, there was already at least probably anywhere from like a tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch that had covered over my stoop and the sidewalk in front of it. And I just checked here a little bit ago, and there was like a sprout of grass that was coming up in the cracks in the sidewalk, basically is what it is there, to where the panels separate is what it is then. And I was able to see that little teeny sprout of grass, like the very tippy top of it, which I guarantee has disappeared by now. And from what he shoveled out at about 11:15 this morning, I didn't actually open the door to check or anything like that because I'm not going to be stupid and allow like -4 degree temperatures or so in my apartment is what it is then. Then also freeze my nuts off at the same time to go out there and like legitimately see how much it would be or whatever. But guesstimation from looking at where the snow was, which was about probably about that much or so, give or take, I think is what it was. And then having a tape measure and tape measuring it from my foot to my calf muscle, which is where my leg would basically hit into that snow drift. It was about somewhere between like 8.5 and 9.5 inches out there at the time. So I think we have over 10 inches right now is what it is, going on 12 inches. Because it's still snowing right now, obviously. And it's going to be snowing from right now pretty much through until like 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon is what it's supposed to be, in like various accumulation chances and stuff like that, where it's 100% and stuff like that right now. And then it's like 80-90% through the rest of the day. And then I think it's supposed to be sometime tomorrow morning, afternoon area. It's supposed to be like 30-40% potentially. So that being said, I talked to my sister about a half hour ago now, give or take, and she texted me When did she text me here? Yeah, she texted me about 30 minutes ago now. And when we had talked before that, so it was like about an hour ago when I talked to her. But when we had talked previous to that, Franklin County, which is obviously Columbus area, was under a level 2 snow emergency and is now under a level 3. So, yeah, crazy stuff. According to the current weather, it is 14 out and the real feel is 1. Snow emergencies are in effect for many counties. Some reaching level 3 with hazards road conditions. Storm is bringing heavy snow. Some areas are already seeing 10 inches. Wind chill values reaching -15 to -10 conditions. Should slowly improve next week. I was talking to my aunt too, because she lives in one of the adjacent counties at the farm, and she's worried about losing power down there, which is not surprising because they have lost power there in the past. But thankfully, the people that live close to her are like, hey, if worse comes to worse, we're just going to grab you and your cat and just bring you guys over here is what it is then. And she's like, well, good luck wrangling that cat into a crate. So, but yeah, she, when I was talking to her, she said they pretty much had roughly about the same amount of snow in her county there as what we have right now here. And, what was I going to say then? Yeah, they got roughly about the same amount of snowfall there. And she was her local weatherman for like their township, whatever it is there that they have a weather station for. He was talking about how usually with these kind of winter storms, you'll have like a warm up is what it is. So it'll be like super freezy or whatever during that snowstorm. And then it's like the couple days after that's going to like warm up and be like, 20, 30, 40 degrees, whatever it is there, to allow for the snow and stuff like that to eventually start melting again. And it's like that freeze-thaw cycle, or whatever you call it there. And she said apparently he was saying this time it's basically the opposite of that. It's almost like a mix between like a polar vortex and a like bomb cyclone kind of situation or whatever, where instead of it warming up for the next 7 days, it's supposed to actually get colder. And I know here about 15, 20 minutes ago, one of the updates on my phone that came through, and I'd already seen one from Franklin County too, down there in Columbus. So it's Franklin County, Stark County, and pretty much every county in between, I think is what it is. Somewhere between tomorrow afternoon and Tuesday, we are supposed to fall into an extreme cold weather pattern of anywhere from -23 to -25 degrees. So this might be the day after tomorrow, honestly, legitimately, which is not good. That being said, I do have enough thermal stuff right now to where if worse comes to worse, like this little blue right now, it's not really thermal, it's just a throw. But mom's old OSU throw actually is thermal. So, and then of course the shirt I have on is thermal. So my plan right now, depending on how cold it actually gets, is I'm pretty much going to take every thermal blanket that I have available right now to me. And I have another one in my closet too that I could potentially go up and grab if I needed to. But that would also take like some maneuvering and getting in there is what it is then to get it. So basically right now, if I was just to grab like random stuff, I'm just going to layer like a motherfucker. So it'll be then, like it'll be this, it'll be this. I will have a black throw on me that's a thermal. I will have a big old gray thermal on, and then I will have a big old like winter blanket is what it is there. That I'm going to pull out of a bag, then is what it'll be if it gets to be that cold. And it'll either be me sleeping in the bed with all that stuff on, or it'll be me sleeping in the chair with all that stuff on. But either way, it'll be whatever. I do have spare food. Actually, I got about a half a pack of bananas left right now. I got 2 more of these guys from the Wally World. This is supposed to expire today. That was what it is. So I don't know how good these are going to be, if they're going to go. And mold or not in the next day or two. Hopefully they won't. And then, of course, I got about 5 or 6 more of the bananas there. All kinds of various snack stuff. Chips, pretzels, cheese curls, whole bunch of candy, etc. there that I could always munch on if I needed to. Got a bunch of drinks that I can pull out as well. So that don't require what you call it. I also have in the last half hour or so, in case we do lose power, I chose to fill up pretty much every empty bottle that I had around here. So if it would be a power outage situation where I would need to go and potentially either take a whiz or take a poop, I would have water to flush it down with what it does then. So, which hopefully that won't happen. And I assume if it did, we did lose power here, being a major city in the state, that it's going to be restored fairly quickly, because there's no way they're going to let people freeze to death with what it does then. Like, that would just be insane on their part. So, but anyway. That's what we got here now. Let's see here. Snow is counting. Snow cripples area. Fluffy snow. Yeah, that's pretty much what was coming down here this morning. Like when I checked outside, it was about 2.5 inches on my porch slab, whatever we call it there, at the time. And that was just before 7:30 this morning when I was able to check that. And it was like stinging, like little pingy, almost like a freezing rain, kind of like dot deals what it is there. That was coming down at the time. And I will say I probably should have put a glove on this hand, because holy fucking shit, dude. The metal of my screen door was basically like that scene from A Christmas Story where the kid sticks his tongue to the pole. Like, it was that fucking cold. Like, it could have easily frozen my hand to that stuff. So if I'm ever going to fool around like that again, I'm definitely putting some kind of glove or something on what it does then. So my neighbor got yelling something. So that being said, I know the snow accumulations here, it's supposed to be, I think they're calling for like 18 inches what it is right now, which when I was talking to my aunt about it, it's not like somebody just went outside now. Yeah, maybe he got a call or something. Maybe he's telling him. I don't know. I'm not hearing anything now, so maybe he got pissed and went outside or something. That's the case, or somebody was coming to get him or something like that. Maybe it was. Who knows? Could be. That would be my neighbor guy, Mickey. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm not sure if it was Clint next door to him coming and wanting to talk to him, or what it was there, or if it was somebody else coming to pick him up or something like that. What it is then. So, whatever. Either way, I know this. One thing I did notice though that I thought was interesting was Giant Eagle. When I was looking at my updates for the stuff that I have installed on my phone, apparently the Giant Eagle stores were talking about how they were open today, but they were only staying open until 4 o'clock this afternoon. And I was like, well, that seems kind of pointless either way. Like, why would you be open at all, number one? Or if you are open, like, why would you only stay open until that point? Like, yeah, it just seems silly, honestly. And my assumption is obviously that it's because, with it getting super dark around like 5 or so now is what it is. Like, they probably want to stay to a point where they can have their employees get out or whatever and have like enough daylight to basically drive home, was my guess, honestly. So, but yeah, going back and talking with my aunt though, when we were talking about stuff. So it was March 8th, I believe, of 2008 is when the last like big storm was here. And that was what I call like the nuts deep storm, which I thought was 2007, but apparently it's 2008. And that particular storm, it dropped like, I think my sister, when we were talking, she said she thought it was 19 inches was the record down there for that storm. When I looked it up earlier, I think it said something between like 15 and a half and 16 inches for that storm. So this storm right now would pretty much rival that storm from 2008. And it still would not touch the blizzard of 78. That was what it is, because when you look at the blizzard of 1978 here in Ohio, there was over 40 inches of snow during that storm. So we got Winter Storm Fern here. Obviously snow, emergency level 3 there in front of the county. Got all kinds of stuff here. Fairfax County schools closed Monday due to Winter Storm Fern. Charlotte Mecklenburg schools, other district, closed Monday for winter storm. That's in Charlotte, North Carolina, apparently. Hall County sees sleet, ice pile up during Winter Storm Fern. Winter Storm Fern closing clinics and stuff like that. Weather Channel, how Winter Storm Fern could be historic, as I was saying here as of 5 hours ago. Then we got Wikipedia, January 2026, North American winter storm. And then we start going down to local stuff here. Winter Storm Fern is here. Winter Storm Fern freezes Greater Akron. Live updates. Up to 15 inches of snow expected to cross northeast Ohio as snow intensifies. And then we got 4 hours ago, Mike DeWine declares state of emergency ahead of Winter Storm Fern. So, yeah, it's not insignificant, obviously, then. And then we also have... but if you go back to the 1978 blizzard of Ohio, that's what that shit looked like, dude, back in those days. So, and if you actually look up the blizzard itself, it was over 40 inches of snow is what it dropped here. So, yeah, here we go. Max snowfall was 52 inches in Muskegon, Michigan. But they were talking, when I was looking at the other day, it said something about like 40-something inches here in Ohio. So, yeah, it makes sense why you'd have, like, again, these giant fucking snow walls of, like, big rigs being stuck and, like, people in a fucking igloo, basically. And just like cars being impacted everywhere. And then that's obviously one of like some truck driving down like a 20-foot snowdrift or whatever it is there. Because there was legitimately like 25-foot snowdrifts to that place. That looks like it's about probably a 7 or 8-foot snowdrift there, honestly. But yeah, like that is not what I want to see here, obviously, dude, because that would be legitimately a killer. So... yeah, let's go ahead and actually read about the Great Blizzard of 1978 while we're here, and then we'll actually go to the January 2026 one is what they were showing on the other thing there, so it is then. Great Blizzard 1978, also known as the Cleveland Super Bomb, was a historic winter storm that struck the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes region of the United States, as well as southern Ontario and Canada on Wednesday, January 25th, 1978 to January 27th, 1978. And I laugh about that because today is January 25th, 2026. And then, of course, tomorrow will be the 26th, and then Tuesday would be the 27th, and that's when it's supposed to be, like, super cold as it is then. So, I feel like this is God just having a laugh at this point, honestly, in some cases. Anyway, it's often cited as one of the most severe blizzards in U.S. history, third lowest non-tropical atmospheric pressure ever recorded in the mainland United States occurred as the storm passed over Mount Clemens, Michigan, where barometer readings fell to 956.0 on January 26th. I'm not sure exactly what that would be, like temperature-wise. So, anyway, but the meteorologist snaps us here. It says, late on Tuesday, January 24th, 1978, surface maps revealed a moisture-laden Gulf low-pressure stream pressure system developing over the southern United States, where a separate and unrelated low-pressure system was present over the upper Midwest. A powerful Arctic jet stream, which I think is how we're getting hit with it now, honestly, surged, or pretty close to that, something like that's what it is then, surged straight south through the northern Great Plains, while a powerful subtropical jet containing a wind max of 130 knots moved south through Arizona, both during the time a huge upper ridge of high pressure forced the Pacific jet north into northern Canada. These Arctic and subtropical jet streams merged with maximum knots of 150. Jesus. Which led to the deepening Gulf low-pressure system, which had moved over Alabama and Georgia to undergo explosive cryogenesis and move rapidly northward towards West Virginia during the evening of January 25th, when record low pressures were logged across parts of the South and Mid-Atlantic to be classified as undergoing explosive cyclogenesis. A storm's central pressure must drop at least 24 millibars, an average of 1 millibar per hour over a 24-hour period. The Great Blizzard dropped by a remarkable 40 bars in that 24-hour period. Yeah, I totally get why people still talk about the 78 Blizzard. That'd be the case, man, because that was some crazy shit, and that was almost 50 years ago now. So, would it be longer than that? 80, 90, 2008, 2018. No, it'll be 50. Okay, so it'll be 48 years from ago now. So, yeah, okay, because that was 7 years before I was born. Yeah, sorry, I was trying to mentally realize what the hell I'm talking about. My mind is what it is here. Anyway, so the storm initially began as rain, but quickly changed to heavy snow during the pre-dawn hours as Atlantic air deepened across the storm, leading to a significant whiteouts and zero visibility during the day of January 26th. As the snowstorm headed for Ohio, it was of unprecedented magnitude, according to the National Weather Service, which categorized it as a rare, severe blizzard. The severe grade of winter storm, particularly hard hit, was Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio, and southern Wisconsin. Muskegon, Michigan had up to 52 inches of snow in 4 days due to heavy lake effect snow swells after the blizzard began. Wind gusts of up to 111 miles per hour caused drifts that nearly buried some houses. Jesus. Here we go. Wind chill values reached -60 across much of Ohio, where 51 of at least 90 storm-related deaths occurred. Jesus. I didn't realize that killed 51 people, man. That's fucking nuts. I mean, it makes sense when you got -60-degree weather. Like, I'm worried about -25 right now here in the next couple of days. So that's about half of that, dude. Not even half of that. Or just under half of that. In Canada, the storm caused blizzard conditions across southwestern Ontario. In London, Ontario, 41 centimeters or 16 inches of snow fell there. Maximum speed record was 128 kilometers per hour, 80 miles per hour. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Blizzard was worst in Ohio history. 51 people died as a result of the storm. Over 5,000 members of the Ohio National Guard were called in to make numerous rescues. Police asked citizens with four-wheel drive vehicles or snowmobiles to transport doctors and nurses to the hospital. From the 26th to 27th, the entire Ohio Turnpike was shut down for the first time ever. That's nuts, dude. Total effect on transportation in Ohio was described by Major General James C. Clem of the Ohio National Guard as comparable to a nuclear attack. Good Lord, dude. Then Michigan Governor William McMillican declared a state of emergency and called out Michigan National Guard to aid stranded motorists and road crews. Michigan State Police pronounced Traverse City, Michigan unofficially closed and warned area residents to stay home. And that goes on from there. Yeah, crazy shit, man, for real. Now here we go. Here's the snowfall accumulations there. So interesting that Dayton only had 12.2 inches. We got more than that right now, is what it is. Or damn close to it anyway. So, okay, that was in a 24-hour period, though. So we got 12.5 inches in a 24-hour period in Dayton, 13.3 in Toledo, 15.4 in, not sure what area that is there, maybe Michigan. Indianapolis got 15.5. Lansing got 19.3. Yeah, it makes sense. Traverse City got 22 to 28. Jesus, dude. That's fucking crazy, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff for sure. So by comparison, let's look up that 2026 Fern. Let's see what Wikipedia's got on for that one right now. Yeah, I love how they call it the January 2026 North American Winter Storm. That's what they're referring to this as. I'm just saying Winter Storm Fern is what it should be labeled on this Wikipedia page. Here's what it is. A major developing winter storm, unofficially named Winter Storm Fern by the Weather Channel, is expected to affect most of North America across regions stretching from Mexico to Texas to northeast Maine and into Canada. Storm is over 2,000 miles in length. As of January 2025, approximately 10 fatalities have been confirmed due to the snow and storm, including 2 people who died from hypothermia in Caddo Parish near Shreveport, Louisiana. Over 750,000 have been confirmed to have lost power at this point, the majority in the Great Plains region. Well, sucks to be them, man. Hopefully they get their power back soon, but yeah, I'm surprised it's like, I hate to say it, but I'm surprised it's only 10 fatalities so far is what it is, according to this, man. But then again, it could be also, that would not be completely accurate now what it is then. So, but yeah, just look at the path that this fucking storm was supposed to take today, man. Like, all of that right there is this fucking storm. With all the red. Why the fuck is the trains running right now, dude? Like, Jesus Christ, people. That's just retarded at this point, honestly. I mean, unless you're, like, bringing, like, National Guard stuff or whatever the case be, but, like, yeah, it just seems super retarded. So, anyway, let's go back and look at the pictures here of the thing. So you got that crazy white swath. Then we got that one showing the actual, where it's basically hitting through is what it is there. All the cleared shelves at places. My understanding as of last night, actually, is that apparently a lot of the people that are buying up the milk and everything like that at these Walmarts and stuff isn't just like random families or whatever. It's apparently a bunch of douchebag Indian foreign nationals who own bodegas and corner stores and stuff like that, like 7-Elevens, who are basically buying it for like $1 or $2 a jug at Walmart and then jacking it up to like $7 to $10 at their local corner shop. There's what it is. So it's super price gouging and completely unconstitutional and everything else like that. And I'm pretty sure it's also illegal what they're doing. So got Christy Gnome over there for some reason, talking to some people there. It looks like it might be Massachusetts or something like that, is my guess there. Oh, no, it's Brooklyn, New York. So that was snow as of 9 o'clock this morning there. I know that idiot Mom Donnie was talking about how there was supposed to be at least a foot there. And New York City is what it is then. So let's go ahead and read what it says here on the Wikipedia page for Fern here. See, we got more than 20 U.S. governors, which is all the right ones there. So we got Ohio, Pennsylvania. I think that's Indiana right next to us there. And the tippy top there would be Maine. Oh, wait, that's all stuff on for Trump. Never mind. So, yeah, it makes more sense. Yeah, it makes sense for fucking Maine to go to Kamala's dumbass and stuff like that in 2024 there. Yeah, I got more than 20 U.S. governors have issued state of emergency declarations in response to the storm. A large swath of winter weather alerts were issued by the National Weather Service, including winter storm warnings, ice storm warnings stretching from Four Corners region as far northeast as the state of Maine, comprised of over 2,000 miles stretch of alerts and including more than 230 million Americans. Jesus Christ. Dude, that's crazy. We're only supposed to have like 300 million people in this country. So that's basically like 95% of the country or something. Maybe not quite 95%, but at least like 85, 90% somewhere in there. So. Anyway. Oh, wait, 2/3 would be. Yeah, because 330 would be what we're supposed to have, supposedly. So that'd be 100 million less than that. So 66. So yeah, about 70%, give or take, of population. 68, something like that. Maybe 69. Anyway, it says numbers of counties under a winter storm warning was the highest recorded. Over 560 flights in the U.S. have now been canceled as of 4:40 on the 23rd. Of course, that was 2 days ago. I know they said recently it was over 1,000, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, almost 4,000. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so there was 560 on the 23rd, 4,000 on the 24th, and over 9,000 were canceled this morning then. Dozens of Amtrak trains were also canceled. Several sporting events were postponed. I know that the crazy part was, I don't know about up here, but I know my sister was saying how I guess she saw something where down there in Franklin County, Columbus area there, they had actually canceled church services for today. When I talked to my aunt about it, where she lives in the county over from mine is what it is here, she said she wasn't sure if they canceled down there or not, but she was not going to risk it because being in her 80s now is what it is. There was no reason for her to, go drive out there and then end up getting stuck and have to risk other people's lives to save her life is what it is potentially. So, or freeze to death in the process. So I was like, yep, you might as well just stay home and just, grab the rosary beads and turn on the, whatever that Christian channel is that does, the church service every day is what it is, and just do like a rosary prayer or something like that in front of that. That's what my mom used to do all the time is what it is. I remember her doing that quite often. So she would say the rosary a bunch of times and be watching. I forget what that channel was called, but it was basically like a Christian. It was like the Christian channel, whatever we're going to call it there. So anyway, continuing on with this though. Got America Southwest. State of emergency was declared by New Mexico Governor Michelle Lupin Grisham, who, by the way, is a cheater. She shouldn't be in office right now. This crazy bitch definitely stole power there in 2022, and then has become a psychotic anti-gun nut since then. What it is then. Allocated $200,000 to support communities in New Mexico. Texas Governor Greg Abbott declared state of emergency on the 21st, mobilizing the state's Division of Emergency Management, or TDUM, to activate response resources. Texas Rangers canceled a Fan Fest event that was set to take place yesterday. We got Deep South Governor Kay Ivey, who is, by the way, for those who don't know, Kay Ivey is the oldest governor in America right now in Alabama, with Mike DeWine here in Ohio being the second oldest governor currently in power. Declared a state of emergency for 19 counties in northern Alabama on January 22nd. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Man, she is looking rough. She looks like a freaking ghoul in that picture. Actually, she kind of looks like she's wearing somebody else's face in that picture. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I think it almost looks like Jim Carrey wearing like a Sarah Huckabee Sanders mask or something. Declared a state of emergency. Arkansas Division of Emergency Management was authorized $250,000 from the Disaster Response and Recovery Fund for Arkansas. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, who is going to be termed after this year, also declared state of emergency and mobilized 500 National Guardsmen. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry, who has actually been half decent since taking over there. I believe he was Secretary. He was either Secretary of State or the AG of that state before he won the governor's race. Declared state of emergency on January 16th. And the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness activated its Crisis Actions Team. Residents were noted to have bought firewood in order to stay warm during the storm and its aftermath. Louisiana Department of Transportation, or LD or L.D, said that crews were stocked and we're stocked on de-icing solutions. So that'd be the stuff you use to like de-ice planes and then the roadways and shit like that. And that they would have crews pre-treating roads beginning in shifts 2 days ago is what it was. And Fernie stated that they would monitor the power situation and respond as soon as it was safe to do so. State of emergency was declared Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves beginning on the 23rd. We got Mid-Atlantic. So state of preparedness was issued by Governor Patrick Morrisey of West Virginia on the 21st. State of emergency was issued for Virginia by that piece of shit cheater Abigail Sperrenbringer, who is, my understanding, this bitch is now trying to run for president in 2028. Oh my God, like, that's what I don't understand about election cycle, dude. Like, there's more than enough evidence to prove that this woman 100% committed voter fraud to get into power. Remove her from office, put her in handcuffs, put her in federal prison, because the shit that she has done in Virginia since being sworn in as an illegitimate governor, that is not only a tax on gun rights, but a tax on pretty much everything else. And now she's trying to basically let like mass murderers go free at this point. It is so fucking psychotic, dude. Like, we cannot let Democrats do this stuff and get away with it, man, for real. But yeah, so the state of Virginia on the 22nd declared a state of emergency. Westmore in Maryland declared state of emergency, state of preparedness. Sounds like that same day. University of Maryland allowed for move-ins for the second semester as early as the 23rd without paying early annual fees due to the inclement weather. Well, at least that's good. At least they're letting people move into the dorms and stuff there a couple days ago without having to pay extra to do so. Speaking of cheaters here, we got piece of shit Kathy Hunkle there. Declared a state of emergency in New York State on the 23rd. Early voting for special elections in New York State or New York City were canceled as for today. What's crazy about this, for those that haven't seen it, I actually posted it to our official network page last night there on X. This fucking lunatic, psychotic, genocidal nut, Kathy Hochul, man, who, by the way, was, for those who don't know, was lieutenant governor in 2020 under Andrew Cuomo. She helped Cuomo literally mass murder like over 100 million New Yorkers, so it is there, enough for them to lose a congressional seat. This crazy bitch had the audacity to go on camera in the last day or so and tell people, hey, if your power goes out, just huddle in one room together so you can all die together. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, what the hell kind of retarded advice is that? Like, she didn't specifically say to all die together, but she was like, yeah, just huddle in like one room with no windows and keep warm in there or whatever, because body heat from people, makes it warmer and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, and then you also die eventually from that, lady, because you don't have enough body heat being produced to combat the extreme cold, you moron. That's why when you used to have, I remember hearing stories, not long ago actually, from back in the day, where it was several, I believe it was tree cutters, in either the late 1800s or early 1900s, something like that's what it was, were out in the forest and ended up getting snowbound there. And what they were doing was you would basically form like this 4-man crew where you had like 2 dudes on the outside, 2 dudes on the inside. And eventually what ended up happening was the guys that were on either side of the outside is what it was there, they end up freezing to death. And then the guys in the middle basically lived. But the problem is that they kept trying to like split the shifts is what it is, like every hour or two. Like they would reposition to where like the dude on the inside is now on the outside, et cetera, et cetera. There's what it was. And the problem with that is that you're all eventually going to die that way is what it is. So, and it's no different than, people being like, oh, go sit in a room together and make like body heat. And it's like, that doesn't work. Like, you can have as much body heat as possible if you don't have outside external heat sources, whether it be from a fireplace, whether it be from, again, like layered up like thermals and stuff like that. Like you're gonna freeze to death is what's gonna happen. It's like that episode of Jericho where they, after the power goes out there, and they're basically going around to people's places and being like, oh, that storm just came in so quick or whatever the case being, and they just find an old couple dead in front of their fucking fireplace, even though the fireplace was like pretty much still going. Like they just froze it. That's what it was then. Because they didn't have enough heat is what it was then. So, but yeah, these people are just fucking psychotic is what it is, man, for real. So anyway, then we got states of emergencies also being declared by Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware. This is the governor of Delaware, apparently. West Virginia, Washington, D.C.'s mayor, Bowser, and then, of course, they didn't put Ohio on here, but Ohio's, well, I guess, would Ohio be? No, I guess that'll be Mid-Atlantic, so I think it would be Midwest is what it is right now. Yeah, here we go. Ohio, Mike to 1. Okay, yeah, then we got Midwest. We got Indiana Governor Mike Braun declared state of emergency statewide disaster declaration on the 24th, which was yesterday. Indiana's declaration came after heavy snow accumulations, with some reports indicating 1 to 4 inches at the time of snowfall on the evening of 24th. The declaration was also issued in anticipation for forecasts released earlier on the 24th, projecting 12 to 18 inches. So it's going to hit us basically what it is right now. Snowfall accumulations in the state from 2020 or from the January 24th, 2025. From January 24th and 25th, primarily in southern portions of Indiana. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe issued a state of emergency, activated the state's National Guard as well as the Emergency Operations Center. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly declared a state of emergency on the morning of the 23rd. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine declared a state of emergency yesterday afternoon is what it was. And suspended normal state purchasing requirements to procure necessary resources. Huh. The fuck does that even mean? I don't even know what that even means. Like, I gotta look that up now. guess we'll see if there's even anything about that if the case. State agencies must prioritize purchasing program. State use programs before seeking other resources. Purchases of goods, services costing $50,000 or more typically require approval from the Department of Administrative Affairs, Military Services for items $50,000. Okay. So I got a state revised code thing here for this. Let's see what this says about it. Okay. Day-to-day staff purchases of an agency. Small purchases. Purchasing does not exceed the lower purchasing threshold. Okay, so basically, DeWine just gave the green light for crazy amounts of fraud during the storm, is what it is. Because he basically just allowed like any agency in the state to be able to get whatever the fuck they needed that were considered like necessary resources. So that's kind of low key fucked up, honestly, dude. Like I get it, but at the same time, like it seems very suspicious, especially given the fact when we were talking about the fraud here not long ago, like a week or two ago, he basically falsely claimed it was just the cost of doing business in Ohio. I'm just like, you can go fuck yourself, old man. Like, you literally helped kill my mother with your fucking death jabs and, like, a bunch of other people, too, for that matter. Like, y'all should be rotting in hell right now, for real. So, anyway. Then we got the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee declared a state of emergency for the entire Tennessee on January 22nd. The Ohio Department of Transportation mobilized 1,500 snowplows. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear declared state of Andy Beshear, by the way, is another cheater Democrat that shouldn't be in office right now. Declared a state of emergency January 23rd. Judge Executive Tim Hutchins declared a state of emergency for Nelson County, Kentucky. We got New England, Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont declared state of emergency on the night of the 24th. Scheduled it to take effect on the 25th at noon. So that was about an hour and a half ago. It took effect then there. We got Canada, the Environment and Climate Change Canada issued a orange level winter storm warning on the 24th for the greater Toronto area in anticipation of 7.9 to 15.7 inches of snowfall. Mexico, the National Meteorological Service, issued a winter weather alert for northern Mexico on the 23rd. That's crazy, dude. This really is like some day after tomorrow shit, honestly, bro. Like, for real. Like, I made jokes, but like it is legit, man. Like, this is some fucking weird shit for real. So yeah, let's see what the latest updates for Winter Storm Fern are then. Let's see what pops up here. Let's see, we got Winter Storm Fern. More than 10,000 flights canceled as snow and ice batter eastern U.S. Winter Storm Fern. More than 900,000 without power, and that was 5 minutes ago, according to ABC News. Arkansas clobbered by Winter Storm Fern's heavy snow and ice. That was 6 hours ago, according to Weather Channel. Hour ago, Fairfax County School was closed Monday due to Winter Storm Fern. 4 hours ago was the other one from Charlotte, North Carolina area. 29 minutes ago, Columbus Dispatch, level 3 snow emergency issued as Fern battles Central Ohio. 10 minutes ago, Lubbock County Schools canceled, delayed Monday, which no. Let's see what else we got here now. Let's see, more than 50,000 customers without power in Kentucky. Winter storm New York City area and across U.S. More than 800,000 without power as storm rages. That was 2 hours ago from that one. Photos of Winter Storm Fern moving through Greater Akron. It's the Akron Beacon Journal 5 hours ago. Let's see what's going on here with this one. See if we can get some actual stuff going on there. Yeah, that was like little flecks of snow right there. That was kind of what was hitting here this morning, is what it is then. That was the Krispy Kreme there on this morning, apparently. There you go. No, I just want to continue your site, bro. Not going to pay for anything. The ODOT trucks. Some coffee company. Highland Square neighborhood businesses. That's what we need right there is the tractors out here, man, with the snow plows and shit. When I was talking to my cousin at about 11:30 this morning, maybe 11:45, somewhere in there, he was saying how he's going to try and put a plow on top of his four-wheeler and plow his driveway and like the surrounding like road area. So, but yeah, I know down there in Franklin County, they tend to, around the OSU campus and stuff like that, they tend to have a lot of these kind of tractors where you can just jump in the cab like that. It's all heated and stuff like that, and just have like a big snow plow on it to like plow out the different parking lots and stuff like that. So, which that's pretty much what you need to have, man. Something like that, big piece of farm machinery. And the thing is, these tractors like that, man, those things are not cheap. That's like $100,000 tractor or more. So, yep, plowing out the parking lot there is what it looks like for a good year. Crazy, crazy shit, man. Not surprising, though. Not surprising, though. Columbus Dispatch. That's one thing I'm gonna try to grab if possible. Here's what it is. Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second if I can. I want to see if I can find the. Yeah, let's go up to Columbus Dispatch here and see if it'll actually show me the stuff then for Franklin County. I'm going to mute myself for a sec because I definitely need to blow my nose. Oh, fuck you and your... Oh my god, I hate these fucking sites, man. Oh, you might be using an ad blocker. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Because I want your stupid fucking pop-ups hitting every goddamn 10 seconds that it is there. Fucking jackassery at its worst, dude. I swear to God. There. Yeah, I need to blow my nose momentarily, so we'll bring up the dispatch page. Here's what it is while I am muting my mic so I can give myself a nice little blowout real quick. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Oh, just realized my mic was muted there for a minute. Yeah, For some reason, it's going all wonky right now. God, I don't want your stupid fucking pop-up. That's why I have all my shit there, people. Yeah, see, like, this stupid crap should not be coming through, but then it's fucking ad blocker stuff or whatever. Just from my neighbors outside. I think that was the family that lives across the way now. Scared the shit out of me from around. I thought it was coming from my computer, but it was them. Okay, this is apparently what it's looking like right now. Yep, that's about what it was looking like outside there. So that's probably 5-6 inches there is my guess anyway, at least. Minimum is what I would say. Yeah, see, all of Franklin County is now under level 3 snow emergency. Winter storm warning remains in effect with heavy snow. All right, blanket Columbus area as Winter Storm Fern moves through the region. National Weather Service has predicted at least 10 inches of snow falling throughout the day, with many local institutions, including the Columbus Metropolitan Library, Columbus Zoo, an aquarium, and community centers closing due to the winter weather. So the thing I think is crazy about that is the Columbus Zoo is, if they're closed, who's taking care of the animals right now? Because I guarantee that they ain't living on site there, man, is what it is, or like the keepers and stuff like that. So are these animals just being left to fend for themselves, basically? All that being said, I kind of wonder if there is a live cam of the Columbus Zoo where we can see like the pandas and like the different animals like playing in the snow, because that'd be funny. So anyway, yeah, we got little fucking leprechaun piece of shit doing over there bitching and moaning about stuff. Go ahead and close that out right now. Let's see, you got Franklin County now, let's see, throw snow emergency, meaning drivers. Roads are closed to all drivers except for emergency personnel. Closures at public schools and virtual classes have been announced at the Ohio State University for Monday and Tuesday. So yeah, my sister's not going to work tomorrow or Tuesday, for that matters what it is then. That's good to know. Weather spotters in Hannah and London reported 11 inches of snow as of 11 a.m. this morning. That sounds about right. I think that's about what we got up here too, honestly. We're pretty close to it. So, yep, it looks like about what we got right now is what it is, or damn close to it then. See, Franklin County Sheriff Douglas Baldwin said the level 3 snow emergency declared January 25th appears to be the first in county's history. Well, that's not true at all. I remember us being under a level 3 snow emergency when I was down there in 2008, buddy. So I don't know what the hell this motherfucker's talking about. They claim roads in Franklin County are closed to all except emergency vehicles, people who must travel for essential work, like hospital and airport employees. County's first ever level 3 snow emergency could last into January 26th, as well, Baldwin said. As crews continue to try and clear roadways. Ohio State University students will not be attending classes in person on the 26th or 27th. Campus will be open with limited services available. All classes will take place virtually instead of campus. So yeah, I guarantee my sister's not going to be forced to go into work tomorrow, is what it is, then, or Tuesday for that matter. So, because obviously she works for the university, is what it is there. Snow piling up in Columbus. Crazy stuff, man, for sure. Oh, there's all the schools that are closing right now, is what it is currently. I guarantee that's going to be that's the thing. Like, that's the one thing about Ohio when it comes to stuff. If Ohio State's closed, the state's closed, pretty much is what it is. So, yeah, if the if the best damn band in the land ain't coming into work, then nobody else is either, for that matter. So it's really that simple, honestly. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out what the death toll for Fern is right now, is what it is. And then I'm going to go, I think I'll call this one a day, is what it is. And I will give you guys an update on our official X page later, is what it is then. So of how much is actually out there right now, I'm assuming my neighbor guy across the way, that was him and his kids probably, that I heard a minute ago. Out there, I don't think it was the dude over here. I don't know why the fuck he'd be out. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and check out the death toll for Fern so far, is what it is. Just because I want to see the total amount right now. So we got 2 dead in Winter Storm Fern, brings frigid temperatures, snow and ice. That was according to People. Daily Mail, Winter Storm Fern death toll raises to 8 as the South is hit with tornado warning. Jesus. That was 6 minutes ago. 2 hours ago was 8 as well. Although I know the thing said 10 earlier, so yeah, let's see what the Weather Channel has to say on this whole situation then. Wait, was there another one that said 12? Yeah, it was Daily Mail 6 minutes ago, raises to 12 as South hit with stuff. Okay, now let's see what this says here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and block your access to that, dude. Millions in New Mexico. Winter Storm Fern is at the door, keeping stuff inside. What actually is black ice? Well, it's the kind of ice you don't see underneath the fucking snow, and then you fall and basically break your spinal cord, which happened to me back in 2010. So, yeah, and that's why I'm on permanent disability now, is what it is then. Because it fucked up my knee and my back. So, yeah, I'm not seeing anything about actual death tolls on that one for the Weather Channel. So, let me check out the Daily Mail here and see if they have any. Oh, of course, their train. See if they got anything on this. That's an official total so far. Yeah, South Hill with tornado warning amid blistering -20 degree conditions. Jesus. So death toll has risen to 8 as Winter Storm Fern rages across the U.S. Temperatures reaching -20 in some parts of the country. A startling tornado warning has been issued for parts of Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. That's fucking nuts, dude. So according to the agency, a few tornadoes possible in the area, along with hail, and could measure up to half inch in size. Wind gusts could reach 70 miles an hour. Meanwhile, at least 12 people tragically died in the freezing weather. 5 were found dead in New York City, 2 in Louisiana, and one died in one of the several car crashes in Tennessee. So that counts for 8. So yeah, basically, Kathy Hunt killed 5 people because she's a fucking moron. What it is, dude. Let's see. A man was found dead in the parking lot of a Shell station early Sunday morning. That died in Arkansas, Michigan, and Virginia. At least 18 were injured from snow-related collisions in Tennessee on Saturday morning or Saturday night, according to Highway Patrol. Let's see, 4 more people died in the snowstorm, marking 12. Man was found dead in the parking lot of Shell station Sunday morning. Other people died in Arkansas, Michigan, and Virginia. 5 in New York City, 2 in Louisiana, 1 in Tennessee. 9 of the deaths were due to extreme cold, and the other 2 were winter-related injuries that caused their deaths. See? Sad, man. But yeah, like, my suggestion to everybody out there, though, man, is the one thing you don't want to do in conditions like this is overexert yourself, and that includes shoveling snow, because that gives people heart attacks. Like, you don't think it's going to, but if you're doing it for a long enough time, it will legitimately stroke you out. Like, that's what it is, man. So if you're going to shovel at all, be smart about what you're shoveling and just do like a little bit. Like, don't keep bending and doing everything else like that. Be smart about it and just do like scoop and then like dump to the side of what it is there. So, and essentially do it like layering is what it is then. But yeah, my suggestion is really just let it be as what it is right now. If you don't need to go out, don't go out. So I got something in the back of my head there's what it is. But yeah, my plan right now, here in the next probably 30, 40 minutes right now, is going to be just take a nap for a while, honestly. Just sack out for several hours and then go from there, because I'm finally warm as what it is right now. Actually, that's the one thing I got. So I got the OSU thermal, and I got a little, it's like a down feather throw, I think is what it is. On top of that, that's underneath the computer right now is what it is. And then, of course, I got this, and then I got my hat. So, and I'll have a pillow here at some point behind my head is what it is then. So, I will say this hat's kept my head pretty warm during this whole stream. So, which is kind of crazy to think about from a made in China situation. I am hearing scraping outside. I'm not sure if that is one of the neighbors doing their sidewalk right now, or if that is a snowplow that just went through. I think it's neighbor scraping is what it is right now. Yeah, it's neighbor scraping right now. So I'm gonna go check and see who's out and about is what it is then, and go from there. And I'll let you guys know what's looking like over here. Then what it is. So, but yeah, I assume there's been several more inches of falling, would be my guess right now. And I would not be surprised in the least if we end up getting like 12 or 13 inches right now, what it is then. And I really would not be surprised by the time this is all said and done if it's closer to 2 feet, honestly. So, but we'll have to check the accumulated totals and stuff like that for this area and other areas and stuff like that of the state. That's what it will be. So I will be back probably at some point tomorrow with an update, and then figure out what's going on then is what it is. And then if nothing else between tomorrow and Tuesday, if I do a stream at all, it'll be like the day after tomorrow is officially here kind of thing is what it is. Because I don't know, man, like -25, like it is one of those kind of we're all gonna die situations potentially. So one thing I did notice too, which I think I may end up ordering a wrist thing from my thumb here, because I noticed last night that it's like all in through my thumb joint right there. It's just like totally arthritis is what it is right now, and it's been killing me for the last couple of days. It's not hurting right now, but like the last 2 days though, it's been just like really, really painful. So, and I'm assuming that's because I'm overdoing it and stuff like that, maybe. But yeah, you can tell how arthritically messed up my fingers are now, especially that one right there. How it kind of does that weird curling, because it does not want to stay flat at all. And I know there's arthritis up in this knuckle real bad. So, which is not good because this is my primary shooting hand. So, you know, it might be one of those situations where I got to start doing my offhand is what it is then to get a little bit more in the left than the right. But yeah, my joints have just been messed up for like the last 20 years or so from that whole body peeling. I haven't made 18. So, which is crazy that I've now lived over 5 years more of my life with all these medical problems from that than I did before I had the medical problems. So it's just not fun. It's really not fun when this hand, like that finger there, and then my thumb and my index finger start to get arthritically issued and stuff like that. Like they really start to hurt real bad what it is then. So, which I think is mostly temperature change and then just like stiffening up when I'm holding the mouse is what it is then. So anyway, but yeah, on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this grandstand. I will be back for probably another one. I think tomorrow is what it'll be. And then either Wednesday or Thursday, if I can get, if I feel like doing it, I'll just do a special Slicey Boy episode. That's what it'll be. So we can at least have one for that week. And then I'll just do the regular one on Saturday is what it'll be then. Where I discuss a CM 114 knife, which will be the first one I have now is what it is. So, because apparently F and Glow decided to have a sale. This is the first time I've ever paid more than $25 for a blade. But I think it was worth it, honestly, for what this knife is. So, and yeah, it's a nice folding design. I think it's on par with the DC-53 is what it is then. And I really, really wanted this blade what it was then. So there's another one I want from that company, but I'm not paying $70 for that one is what it is. So unless they would have a half price sale, I'm not going to buy that one ever. So, unless I hit the lottery or something like that, that's what it'll be. But yeah. That being said, that's where I'm at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you all on the next one. Peace out. Stay safe. Stay indoors during the storm if you can, man. Unless you're some piece of shit politician, then you can just go, venture out into the cold because you're a piece of shit anyway, is what it is then. So, and I mean that legitimately. Fuck all those people, man. Whether it be Hunkle, DeWine, etc., they can actually go out in this snowstorm and get the frostbite is what it is then. And do society a favor. So, for what those fuckers did in 2020. But anyway, I know I shouldn't hold grudges, but I will forever because these bastards killed a lot of people, and they should not be walking for holding power because of that right now. So, anyway. But yeah, like I said, I'll be back probably sometime tomorrow. And unless it gets like super cold, like if it's cold enough to where like I know I can't really do a stream or whatever the case because I'm just like bundled up early to survive. Like I'm just not gonna do a stream, that's what it is. But I will do an update through our official X page is what it is then. And just let everybody know like, hey, I'm here. I'm still alive, etc. So, and then from there we'll just go from there. So it is then. But yeah. Either way, hope you guys all survive this. It is super cold for sure, and I think it's negative degrees again as it is right now. So I definitely want to. I want to go look outside and see what it's doing right now. So it is then. Actually, let me check the weather here and see what. No, I got a weather.com. I just want the freaking local weather here, people. Jesus. Okay, let's see. So their real feel right now is about 8 degrees. That's what they're saying. And this is saying 6 to 10 inches right now for today. I think it's going to be more than that, though, dude. Like I said. Yeah, because they're expecting 12 to 18 by the morning is what it is then. So I hope these kids enjoy their snow day tomorrow and Tuesday, though, because they're definitely going to have them. And I'm just gonna say this right now, dude. If you're a superintendent of a school district in the state of Ohio or any state for that matter, and you are not canceling classes for at least the next 2 or 3 days, you are the fucking problem with this country. And you need to be kicked the fuck out of office at that point, obviously, because you have no business being a superintendent of a school system. If you're going to allow people to freeze to death, is what it is then. Because that's pretty much what we're going to see right now, is what it is. So it's better to be safe than sorry. It's better to be abundance of extreme caution, etc. there. And just cancel the stuff, dude. In fact, I would go as far as, truthfully, if it was me, if I was a superintendent of a school district, I would just cancel classes for the entire coming week is what it is right now. And just be like, yeah, I know we only get so many like inclement weather days, what they used to call snow days, obviously, back in the day. And it's just like, hey, like, these kids don't need to be out in any of this shit until it gets above, like, you know, this super freezing, like, cancel, like, classes are canceled across the board. Here's what it is. Which really, honestly, truthfully, I would think that would go back to the governor's office, too, for that matter, where he would have the power or she would have the power to do that stuff, depending on which case your governor is, obviously. And really, that should be on the governors at that point to just be like, hey, like, you know, if you're declaring like that, and that's the thing too as well. Like, if you're declaring like a level 3 snow emergency in the capital of the state, then like, pretty sure that it would be a situation where it's like, hey, we don't need to have kids going to school these days as what it is then. So yeah, just cancel the whole thing out and be done with it, man. And it's really that simple, honestly. Like, make everybody having the ability to be inside for the next couple of days is what it is then, and just bundle up and keep it warm and stuff like that is what it is then. So, but yeah, other than that, though, that's pretty much where I'm at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you all on the next one. Stay safe, stay warm, stay bundled up, and hopefully you all survive Fern, and we can all talk about this after the fact. That's what it is. And my condolences do go out to the families of the people that have perished so far in this storm, and anybody else that may end up dying after the fact. Here's what it is. Like, again, don't be stupid, man. Just stay inside, stay bundled up, stay warm. If you have to go to a warming center, go to a warming center. You know, it's not worth it to sit in an apartment or freeze to death. Like, if you know you're going to be stuck or something, you know, make the call. If nothing else, call 911 is what it is, man. And have some, you know, EMTs or something come out to get you. Or some police or whatever it is then. Or in the fire department for that matter. So, yeah, it's not worth it to risk your life, your health, your safety, etc. There's what it is. So it's much better to just be surviving through this storm is what it is then. Because you never know, it could be a day after tomorrow situation then. But I think in that case, we're all pretty much fucked, honestly, dude. Like, I don't think any of us is surviving that. If it does turn into that, obviously, I don't think it will. But you never know, man. You never know. There's always that possibility. So, but yeah, knowing that going back to the 78 storm, the extreme cold, the extreme amount of snowfall, etc., was like at least twice or more than what it is right now, or what's being predicted right now is what it is. I think there's a lot more likelihood that a lot of this is basically being kind of fear-mongeringly overblown by people. And again, it's what fucking media does, unfortunately. You know, they overblow shit like that's what it is. But I get it. You know, you don't want... I think you kind of want to instill the fear in people enough to where they'll actually listen, unfortunately. And so you basically have to put that kind of fear of God into them, or some kind of fear into them for that matter, to where they'd actually listen up and be like, okay, this is seriously bad. Like, let's not fuck around or whatever then. And unfortunately, there's a lot of stupid people that don't do that, obviously. So, yeah, just be smart, man. Just stay inside, keep warm. If nothing else, make a cup of hot chocolate or some coffee or something like that to keep yourself internally warm. And if you got the layers or you got the thermals and stuff like that, wear the thermals, dude. Like, there's no reason not to. Like, throw on your thermal long sleeve, throw on your thermal, whatever the case be, and just sleep like that, man. Like, you're better off that way, honestly. So, but yeah, on that note, I'm calling today. I'm gonna go check and see what's going on outside right now. See if there's any more accumulation, or if it's still snowing or not. See if the people I heard outside were in fact the neighbors from the next complex over then. And if they were trying to dig out or whatever the case be then. So we'll see. We'll see how much snow is now sitting in the little courtyard between my building and theirs. So I also really want to see, there's the old woman that lives directly across from me, where her door is, there's like a big pine tree, and then like behind that pine tree, almost by her bedroom window area, there is what looks like it's either an AC or a heat unit that was put in there a long time ago. I don't know if it actually functions or not, for that matter. But it's like a big old ground unit, like probably like yay tall, give or take. And when I looked outside of it earlier, it was almost like sand castles on it, where it was like all like built up on the opposite sides of it, is what it is there for like the snow accumulation, like the corners and stuff like that don't have the vent parts and stuff like that. And then there was like a big old snowdrift in front of it. Then that was about maybe a foot or so high. So I'm gonna go see if it has increased at all, if that be the case then. And then we'll see just how bad it is outside, is what it is then. So, but yeah, they're about to get pretty nuts, is what it is though. And like I said, I really wouldn't be surprised if that accumulation prediction of it being about 18 inches was actually true, honestly. And like I said, if that is the case, then that would pretty much rival the 2008 storm, is what it is then. And if it gets any more than that, like, it could potentially go towards like a 78 blizzard situation, what it is then. So, but yeah, it'll be a bad deal, man, for sure. So I am not looking forward to this extreme cold weather in the next day or so, because I think it might be a situation where I just end up pretty much having a bottle, if you know what I mean, when it comes to things. If I do a stream tomorrow, what I'm going to do during that stream is I'm actually going to do a review, because I end up picking up a couple different cans of Smirnoff Tall Boys the other day when I was at Walmart, and I want to try one of those, is what it is. It is a red, white, and berry, and then I believe the other one was like a blue raspberry smash. So I'm going to try one or the other of those, is what it is then, whenever I do a stream here pretty soon. And do like a little review on that, if that be the case then. Got like a pimple or something come up in my wrist forearm area here. So get a little bit of back tracing out here in a minute as soon as I finish this stream and put it on there and see if that'll take care of it then, if that be the case. So I assume that's from the sweat and stuff like that, which is the problem again. When you're layered up, you'll eventually start sweating through your clothing, is what it is. So, but yeah, like I said though, I'm pretty much just gonna, chill here, is what it is. The nice thing about this storm so far is that there's not a whole ton of light that's coming through my window today. Like, there's a little bit right now, obviously, that's allowing us to do this stream without having lights on. But I've been able to sleep pretty much with that light, is what it is there. So Most likely I'm going to take a nap here in the next, like, 30, 40 minutes of this then. And then basically sleep for 3 or 4 hours is what it is then. To probably 7 or 8 o'clock tonight is what it'll be then. And then we'll see if Honda does a stream tonight. I'm not sure if he will or not, but if he does, I will be part of that panel for sure. If he doesn't, it's semantics then, and I'm assuming he'll do one on Tuesday. It will be then. So, thankfully, as far as I'm aware, there is still nobody living in the apartment behind me, is what it is right now. So, I'm not sure if the heat is even on in that apartment, if that be the case, which is kind of a scary situation to think about. I'm wondering if that's what I was hearing, like what I thought was like knocking and stuff the other day, if it wasn't like the heat coming from my apartment and going like against the wall. Here's what it is. And then because there's like no insulation between the walls or whatever there, if it's like kind of like seeping through the wall a little bit and then kind of like knocking like the coldness in that apartment is what it is or something. So it's very possible that would just do that, honestly, doing like some weird expansion between the walls and stuff like that or something. So who knows? But I just hope that my freaking electric bill for this month isn't like 150 or 200 bucks when it's all said and done. Because if it comes that kind of price, then I'm gonna call up the fucking power company and be like, "This is some bullshit, and you guys know it." Especially when I have, not only do I have my AC unit covered over with a sheet right now to keep the air out there, I've had a couple other sheets that I put in front of my door, right at the bottom there, to keep air from seeping in and out. There is what it is at the bottom of the main door to the apartment is what it is then. So it shouldn't be an issue, but if it does become an issue, like I'm going to be like, this is some bullshit, dude, no. So the only things I don't really have to keep air from seeping out would be stuff on my windows is what it is then. Because it's just hard to do that, obviously. But, well, finding things that work, actually, I should say, to keep the stuff from seeping out or whatever then. But I also don't want to create like such a heat environment to where I'd be like, you know, like let's say I'm going to go outside or whatever to do something, and then all of a sudden I open the door and it's like, you know, feels like 70 or 80 in this room, and then all of a sudden I open the door and it's just like cold punching me in the face, basically is what it is then. So, although I've had the opposite of that in the past. Actually, I think I have had that before, actually, where it was like bitter cold hitting me in the face or whatever then. But then the opposite one of that was where you're coming outside from an inside environment where it's kind of cool or like AC or whatever the case be. And then you just get immediately punched in the face by just like that pure humidity heat is what it is. And that's the worst, dude, honestly. Like, if you ever felt that, like, it's just so like, ugh, kind of just gross. So, but yeah, I'm still trying to find a different place to move to here in the coming months, but I don't know if it'll be. I still think I'm gonna end up going month to month here for at least a month or two after my lease ends, and then just trying to do something come either June 1st or July 1st of this year is what it'll be, to where I can move to like a different place or whatever then. So slightly bigger place anyway, because that's really what I need right now. I need like something that's like not basically a 2-room apartment. I need something that's like, you know, several rooms, if nothing else, maybe a 2-bedroom that I can afford in that price range. Even a bigger 1-bedroom would be fine too, honestly, like just as long as I have a little bit more space is what it is. Because the problem is, I know that they falsely claim this place is like 750 square feet. It's not. It's like 600 maximum, if even that much. It's probably more like 580, honestly. So really what I need is I need that like 750, 800 square feet is what it is then. So, or damn close to it anyway. I would say at least 650 anyway, for sure. Because that, you know, 60, 70 feet does matter when you got stuff and you're trying to move around and you don't want to have everything like on top of you, basically. which is what it feels like right now with all the totes everywhere. It'd be nice to actually have some place to, like, you know, take stuff out of the totes and then put up somewhere, and then be able to, you know, consolidate the totes is what it is, then like set them off to the side someplace where they're not like in the way. So, which I know after I move here from here is what it is then. And there's stuff in several of these totes that I am going to sell eventually. And it's just a matter of finding somebody to sell it to is what it is then, and multiple people to sell the stuff to. I mean, honestly, sadly, I could probably open up a small Amazon store right now, which is the amount of shit that I have is what it is there. Of like various things, but then it would also require me to like ship all that out is what it is then too. Versus if I could just, you know, find somebody that would just take it as like a big haul and just like pay me like X amount of dollars for it, whatever the case be, that would be the ideal thing. Or if it means going to a flea market and just like, you know, selling off a bunch of stuff for, you know, some discounted deals and stuff like that is what it would be then. So, but yeah, if I was able to do that, I think I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's at least 2 or 3 totes right now I could easily get rid of, just with the amount of stuff that's in them that I would be able to sell off. That's what it is. So, but anyway, probably more like 4 or 5 actually when it's all said and done, or at least consolidate like stuff that I would want to keep from a bunch of them to one, and then like everything else would be the other like 3 or 4. That's what it is. So, but yeah, it is what it is. So, but it is 2:30 right now. Let's see what the weather is looking like right now on my phone here, because there's been some updates and stuff here. Let's see, we got a winter storm warning 40 minutes ago till 10 p.m. tonight. Let's see, 17 minutes ago, weather updated here. Let's see, light to moderate snow continuing beyond 8 p.m. tonight. It is claiming the real feel is 3 right now, with the actual temperature being 16 degrees. So yeah, I got 100%, 90%, 90%, 90%, 95%, 90, 90, 95, 95. So all the way up through 8 o'clock tonight, it is 95, and then at 8 o'clock it's supposed to go to 70%. And then there is supposed to be a window from 9 to midnight where nothing is there, and then starting at 1 a.m. until 1 a.m. to now till 4 tomorrow afternoon. It's supposed to be a 20% chance through all that time period of snowfall, and then as of 6 p.m. it goes to another 20% chance, and that continues on till midnight on Tuesday. And then Tuesday morning, it looks like there is Tuesday morning through pretty much all of Tuesday, there's a 20% chance there as well of more snow accumulation. So, yeah. So it could be roll a dice. It might come up 5. It might come up 0. Or I guess it would come up 1 actually. So it might be 5, it might be 1. The 20% chance is there for the next couple of days. But yeah, I would not be surprised at least that 20% was more like 40 or 50% when it's all said and done then. Or even higher for the matter. And it just keeps going with what it is then. So if it does keep up like it is now, I could definitely see it hitting like a couple of feet by the time like Tuesday or Wednesday rolls around. That's what it is. So, and then that's going to be a bitch to deal with, because if it's going to be extremely cold throughout that entire time period, then I don't see anybody going anywhere is what it is, man. So, but on that note, I'm going to go and call it a day. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you all in the next one, which will be sometime tomorrow probably. And if it's not tomorrow, then I will give an update on our X page of, hey, still here, just too cold to do anything is what it is. So, but yeah, hope you guys are having a good day, keeping warm, keeping safe, keeping indoors basically, because it's one of those bundle up and nap kind of storms really is what it is. So, which is what I'm about to do here in a few minutes. So I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Later.